the state rankings. Alexandria just a step ahead of the Spuds in the number 10 spot, while Moorhead has worked their way back up to the number 11 spot after dropping out of the voting with consecutive losses to Hibbing and to Warroad. But from that point have responded with 4 consecutive wins and are starting once again to get state recognition. The Spuds come into tonight's game with 13 wins and 5 losses and have won their last 4 games in a row. Alexandria, 14 wins and 2 losses on the year, including an overtime loss to the Spuds early in the season, 4-3, and then just later on against Robbinsdale Armstrong, 4-2. But since that loss, have won 7 in a row, including a 7-2 win over Wilmer in their last outing. Blair Hobel will be in goal tonight for the Cardinals. He has the ice ready in the crease to our left. Well, Jason Gregoire has the ice ready to our right side, and he is surrounded by his teammates for one last final word of encouragement before the start of tonight's game. The Spuds are dressed in their home whites tonight with black helmets and pants. The Cardinals are in their traveling black uniforms with red over the shoulder and around the middle and red numbers. John Cullen had strep throat yesterday, ran a fever of nearly 104 degrees. He is ready to play tonight against Uncle Terry and Cousin Mark. He is out at center ice now, ready to handle the face-off for Alexandria. And Mark Cullen brings up the Spud line now. Troy Bagney will be at center, and on the near side it'll be Brian Nelson. We're about ready to get this game underway. John Cullen has Jay Kopishki and Stuart Sendon on either side of him. We'll take a look at the defensive pairs in just a moment. The puck is down, and we are underway. Drawn back into the Spud zone. Spuds control, but then John Cullen comes up with it for Alexandria. Rifles a shot behind the net, and a rims around on the near side to the point. Nate Wright, a freshman, leaves it on the boards, moving in now, and a shot is blocked off in traffic into the near side. Out near the point, another big collision. An Alexandria player goes down. That was John Cullen, got tangled up with Troy Bagney and did a backflip to the ice. Along the boards, near side and out to center, and ends up out of play. Will drop the puck in the Spud zone. So Alexandria putting on the early pressure against the Spuds and had their first scoring opportunity, but coming up just wide of the mark. Defensively, freshman Nate Wright is teamed with Brian Gaffney for Alexandria. The Spuds, B.J. Knutson and Jesse Giroy are teamed up along with Andy Ryerson and Nate Ronning. Ronning is a sophomore. Teams making changes now. Andy Cavers, B.J. Anderson, Chad Hacker come on for the Cardinals. And they will face up with Nick Dodge, with John Tranby and Fred Bentz circling and ready to settle in. B.J. Anderson gains the draw for the Cardinals, leaves it on the outer edge of the circle, and it's picked up by Tranby of Moorhead, feeds it to Bentz near side. He's checked hard into the boards. Loose puck into the corner, it floats. Tipped back along the boards, and the Cardinals come away with it. Long pass out to center on the stick of Chad Hacker moving in, and he shoots from there. Rebound out to the far side. Gregoire could not hang on. A long pass out of the corner is controlled by Tranby. He'll skate it in 1-on-2. Across the line, Tranby ridden deep into the corner. Now behind the net. Picked up there by Tranby for just a moment, and left now, and it floats out in front of the net, taken away by the Cardinals. Jeff Krause with it, steers it up on the near side. Past Andy Cavers, he'll pick it off the boards, and pass high in the slot. The shot blocked nicely by a diving Jesse Giroy. Loose to the far corner now, a wind-up and a shot again, hits traffic. Picked up on the near side, skating in, a centering pack knocked loose. Big scramble in the crease area. We have 2 Cardinals lying on top of Spud goaltender Jason Gregoire. And the whistle has blown to stop play, and we'll have the face-off coming up in the Spud zone. Just underway, 13:34 to go, opening period. No score on the Elders Communications scoreboard. For locally owned real estate company, it's Wagner Realty, located in the Moorhead Center Mall. Whether you're buying a new home, selling the home you're in, call Wagner Realty. They're the sign that sells. Wagner Realty in the Moorhead Center Mall. Face off left of Gregoire. Stepping in now, Micah Raddick of Alexandria, squaring up with Mark Bjorklund. Spuds gain the draw, pass off the boards, escapes to center. Quick return along the near side, battled for, gets past Bjorklund. Knocks it back, and Raddick is back for Alexandria into his own zone. He'll head up with it. He's caught by Simison, poked away from him there, and to the board's far side, returned into the zone by Jeremy Garris of Alexandria. Floats behind the Spud net. Picked up on the near side by Rob Buttweiler. Trying the centering pass, it gets wide, and Mark Bjorklund picks it off the boards for Moorhead. He'll bring it out to center. Moving along, and he's caught from behind by Brian Gaffney, who slips in and takes the puck away. Cardinals are back on the attack. To the near side, a big check put on the near side, and it comes out to Mark Cullen. Feeds a pass right side for Bagney. He's checked off and puts a shot on, and he scores! Brian Nelson taking the pass from Troy Bagney and backhanded it past Blair Hobel, and the Spuds take an early 1-0 lead. 2:13, the time of the goal. Brian Nelson will get the goal. Troy Bagney will get one assist, and Mark Cullen will get the first assist. Nelson from Bagney and Cullen, and the line teams up to give the Spuds an early 1-0 lead. For Brian Nelson, his 24th goal of the season. Cullen gets his 24th assist, and Bagney his 19th. We're underway. 2:13, the time of the Nelson goal. Bagney backhands it into the zone. Left side of Hobel, it's picked up behind the Cardinal net. Rung around the near side on the stick of Stuart Senden for a moment. Then it's poked loose. From behind the net, John Cullen picks it up. He'll try to pass it out of the zone and gets it to center. Troy Bagney back to pick it up. He'll carry it behind his own net before setting the play out of the end. On the right side, picked off the right side and to the boards. Now Mark Cullen bounces it nifty, and Bagney picks it up. Gets long from him and into the far corner. Behind the net, Bagney circling with it. Puts it out on the near side, and Nelson's shot gets through the crease and to the near boards. It's sent out of the zone. Cardinals with an icing call. Stopping play with 11:59 to go. Brian Nelson from Troy Bagney and Mark Cullen at 2:13. Spuds with a 1-0 lead on the Elders Communications scoreboard. The Moorhead Center Mall would like to wish the Moorhead Spuds and Coach Terry Cullen the best of luck this season and in tonight's game against Alexandria. For friendly hometown shopping, the Moorhead Center Mall would love to be central to your life. 1-0 Spuds, just past 12 minutes to go in the first period. Face off to the right side of Blair Hobel. Puck is down, knocked behind the net, off to the far side, cleared by Chad Hacker. Knocks it behind the net. To the near side, a Spud stick comes loose away from Nick Dodge. He's down on the backside to pick it up. The puck comes out to center, knocked loose. Andy Ryerson has it, fed near side for John Tranby. He'll move in. Here's the pass to Dodge. Just as he pulls the trigger, he's caught from behind, and the puck is poked away. Out to center ice it comes. Spuds will come onside with a long shot rimmed off the far corner by Nate Ronning. Off to the near side, Spuds on the change. Loose to the near boards. Now the Spuds sandwich the puck away, and it's cleared to the left of the net. Simison behind to pick it up. Then he's pushed out of the way by Andy Cavers, and the Cardinals have it. But we have a Cardinal player lying in the crease right in front of Jason Gregoire, and a stoppage of play with 11:17 to go. Spuds on the early lead, 1-0. Tonight's game with an 88% save ratio. Has allowed 34 goals, that's 2.6 per game. Has faced 257 shots, 223 saves, and a 9-win, 4-loss mark. Jason Gregoire in goal tonight for the Spuds, who have a 1-0 advantage on Alexandria with 11:17 to go here in the first. The Moorhead Sports Center is to the rafters for this one. Troy Bagney on to handle the face-off for Moorhead, waiting for the Cardinal center to step in. Here's John Cullen. Puck is ready to be dropped now, and it goes down, flipped to the corner. Behind the play, B.J. Knutson there, tries to poke it aside. It's poked away from him by Jay Kopishki, who clears it now to the far side. Drops it behind the net. Cardinals trying to set up a play out in front. Now the pass out to the point. Brian Gaffney from there sends it rink wide. On the near side, Nate Wright takes it off the boards. It's poked away from him and loose to the near side and out to center. The Cardinals clear it back, but they'll have to come onside. And from behind, the Spuds with a hip check poke the puck loose. Brian Nelson to the boards near side where Bagney clears, sweeps it into the zone. Spuds will have to hurry to get there. Brian Gaffney of Alexandria gets there first. What's a pass out in front of his own net? It's cleared out to center. Poked along the side, and Mark Cullen takes a swipe at it and steers it away from the Cardinal player and into the zone. Cullen trailing the play, winds up, just misses the post. Bounces from behind the net onto the boards near side. Back out to center come the Cardinals. Stuart Sendard is sandwiched up as he gets into the center ice circle. Lowers the shoulder as he spots Nate Ronning closing in. Nate Ronning from behind the play, has it poked away from him, and it's into the zone. Here comes B.J. Anderson out in front. The save, Gregoire. Tipped out in front. Loose now. Back in the slot. Nate Ronning finally clears it out of the zone. Picked up by Jeff Krause of Alexandria. Along the boards far side, past John Tranby. Stick handles it to the near side. It's poked loose, popped into the air. And Andy Ryerson takes it back for Moorhead to Fred Bentz. A head man for John Tranby in the slot. Works it off to the right side. Feeds it back rink wide. Gets away from Benson to the boards. Back out to the point, Ryerson misfired on the shot. Sends it rink wide. Off the far point, picked up by Josh Kramer. He steers it to the corner, and it's picked up by Mark Bjorklund. Back out high in the slot, it gets through. The Spuds on the line change defensively. Jesse Giroy on now to tip it back into play. Cardinals are back. Jeff Krause can't get it out of the zone. Spuds take it back. Now it's poked to the boards, and the Cardinals have it, but their pass out is knocked loose by B.J. Knutson. He sends a long shot. It ends up in the corner near side. It's poked loose to the boards. Cardinals had it for a moment. Now Josh Kramer picks it up, carries it behind the Cardinal net. He's checked off the play, and the Cardinals have it back, and this time they clear it out of the zone and will take some of the pressure off with the icing call and give them a chance to change up on their lines, but the faceoff will be in the Cardinal zone to the right side of Blair Hobel. 1.93 goals against. He has faced 245 shots, 218 saves. He's allowed just 27 goals on the season. 9 minutes to go, first period. Spuds with a 1-0 lead. Face-off to the right of Blair Hobel. John Cullen back on to handle the face-off for Alexandria. And Troy Bagney squares up for Moorhead. Bagney clears his own draw. Backhands it into the corner from Mark Cullen. He skates past the puck, does a quick 360, gets a stick on it, goes to his knees, then tips it back to the near side, but the Cardinals are waiting. Pass up is picked up by Jacob Pischke. At center ice, it's knocked loose by Jesse Giroy. Quickly dumps it back into the Cardinal zone, and the Spuds will be called with the icing there, as he was near his own blue line when Giroy knocked it away. 8:40 to go. They'll bring it back into the Spud zone. Able to get a real good scoring opportunity on Gregoire. The Spuds then regrouped and got back up ice and got the game's only goal at the 2:13 mark. Now 8:40 remains. Spud JV got a win tonight, a shutout win, 7-0. Jeremy Vattenstall facing just 18 shots. Nick Dodge on the face-off for Moorhead. Drops it to the corner, takes the return pass, comes out to center. It's 2-on-2. Nick Dodge brings it in, pokes the puck ahead, then catches up to the puck and leaves it for John Tranby. Out in front, Fred Bent skates past. Andy Ryerson shoots. It's blocked by Hobel, who comes out about 2 strides in front of the crease. Knocks it to the boards near side. That's picked up by Tranby. Skates it in, and his shot is blocked off a skate of B.J. Anderson. Brings it out to center. The return pass knocked loose, and the Spuds take it back. Here's the return for Fred Bentz. He'll bring it in. Bentz high in the slot, shoots, and it's off the blocker of Hobel. Off to the corner near side. Spuds leading 1-0. B.J. Anderson of Alexandria off to the far side, circling in his own corner. Spuds with a good forecheck here in the first period. And the puck comes out to center now, poked along the boards. Back into the Spud zone. The Cardinals will change up as it comes behind the net, picked up by Nate Ronning of Moorhead. His clearing pass is knocked away by Brad Westfall of the Cardinals, and it stays in the Spud zone. Off to the far corner, Andy Ryerson skates past it. It's picked up behind the net. Bjorklund goes down, slides past it. Finally, it's cleared off the boards with a bounce pass out past Josh Kramer, and the Cardinals are there. Clear it back into the zone with a long pass. Bouncing behind the net of Jason Gregoire. Loose to the far corner. Ryerson sliding it after it. Poked away from him by Jeremy Garris of Alexandria. And Garris ends up on top of the puck, and it floats loose somehow out to the point for Nate Wright. He'll skate it back into the corner, then a turn. The shot was right there, but they misconnected, and it comes loose to the boards. Here's a long pass out for Bjorklund. Was deflected away from him by Nate Wright. Spuds will change up quickly, and the Cardinals clear it behind their own net. Nate Wright nearly lost the puck out in front. In fact, Brian Nelson came crashing in and picked his pocket and was left alone to the right side of Blair Hobel, who just did manage to react in time and get the save. Brian Nelson nearly picked the pocket for a goal. 6:51 to go. Face off to the right side of Hobel. John Cullen back on for the face-off for Alexandria against Troy Bagney of Moorhead. Puck is down, it bounces off the stick, and Bagney reacts and gets to it first with a circling backhand into the near corner. Bounce behind the net. Nelson gets there for Moorhead. Returns it to the backside for Mark Cullen. He'll try to poke it out. John Cullen is there, steers it to the boards for Alexandria, and it escapes the zone out to center. Brian Nelson is there quickly. Knocked away from him. Cullen in the zone will have to retreat. Now they're onside. That is taken back by Nate Wright. He'll bring it to the Moorhead blue line. Leaves the pass for John Cullen. He'll carry it to the corner. He's hip checked there by G-Roy, but he manages to put a shot on. A rebound, shot kicked away by Gregoire. Off to the far side, a scramble for it, and B.J. Knutson ducks underneath the block and comes off ice with it. His rink-wide pass for Nelson. Clears it off the boards. The Cardinals are there 2-on-1 to take it back. Stuart Senden returns to center ice. He's flying. Stuart Senden brings it into the zone. He goes to the far side and moves on a shot. A save, Gregoire from behind the net. Stick swipe by Gregoire as he's sitting on top of the puck. The Cardinals are trying to poke away at it and try to knock it loose. Gregoire taking exception to the extra play, but he was out of the crease area and was virtually behind the net. With a 1-0 advantage on the Cardinals. Face off to the right side of Gregoire. Nick Dodge in now. He'll stand in against Chad Hacker of the Cardinals. Puck is loose. Floats out near the point. Cardinals have it. A long shot sent. It trickles through wide of the net and bounces to the near boards. Circling out. Scrapping for it. It ends up near the point. Again, a poke along the boards by Fred Benson, Moorhead. And it's bounced hard off the boards and goes rink wide. In the far corner, Spuds Nate Ronning picks it up. He's quickly caught by Chad Hacker and tied up behind the net. Puck is poked loose and comes to the near corner. Along the boards now with 5:23 to go in the period. From behind, circling around, looking in. Here's a shot out, and it's floating out in front. The return, blocked. Gregoire still loose, and Dodge chases it down to the far corner and takes the player out, leaves the puck alone. Tranby leaves it for Nate Ronning, and the Spuds come into the zone. Nate Ronning winds up and shoots into the glove of Blair Hobel. Josh Kramer following up on the play just in case the puck dropped out of the glove. But Hobel hanging on. Another scoring opportunity for Alexandria with a puck out in front of Jason Gregoire. But the Spuds defensive unit there to knock it loose to the far corner. And it remains a 1-0 Spud lead. 5:02 to go, first period. Face off to the left of Blair Hobel now in the Alexandria zone. Both of these teams will be back in action later this week. Thursday night, the Cardinals will go on the road and play at Brainerd. The Spuds just visited Brainerd Saturday night and came away with a 4-1 win. Spuds will stay at home for a return encounter against East Grand Forks. They played to a 2-1 Spud win in their first meeting at East Grand Forks. The Green Wave recently upset by Crookston. 5:02 remaining. Tom Jerome along the far side has used every opportunity to slow play. His players have come slowly onto the ice. And we heard Terry Cullen of Moorhead say that his quickness and his speed would be the key to a Spud success tonight. But now all four of the 5 skaters of Moorhead have gone out to meet with the official. And they have been pointed back into the face-off circle. Face-off left of Blair Hobel. Troy Bagney standing in against John Cullen. Spuds with a 1-0 advantage. Puck is done. It floats near the goal. Taken back by Rob Buttweiler. Cardinals have it with a pass out on the far side for Jeff Krause. He's poked to the boards. Puck pops loose into the zone. Mark Cullen circling back. Bounces it off the boards. Now out to center, and it's picked up by Jesse G-Roy, and at the line dumps it in to the corner. Brian Gaffney of Alexandria has it taken away. Troy Bagney sends it out in front, puts a shot right on. It hit the stick of Blair Hobel, bouncing behind the net, and finally out to center ice, and the Cardinals have a breakaway. But B.J. Knutson catches up to John Cullen and forces a weak shot that ends up deflected into the corner. Cullen and Knutson still after it. Poked loose on the near side, tangled up, and the Spuds collide. Bagney and Simison both go down, puck to the near boards. Picked up by the Cardinals, clear it behind the net. Now Mark Cullen takes it back for Moorhead. His pass, return, but Cullen with a stick on the ice, picks it back up. Centering pass for Jeff Simison, pokes it into the zone. Spuds will change with 4 minutes to go. And from deep in the far corner, the pass back out, taken back by Mark Bjorklund. He'll track it down, but skates past, and the Cardinals come up with it along the far side. Mark Bjorklund comes in with a hip check. Puck is loose for just a moment, then picked up by Brian Gaffney. He'll bring it into the zone, centering past the shot, the save, Jeremy Gregoire. Oh my, what a big first period for Gregoire. A perfectly executed pass out of the corner. and the Cardinals were right there. But Gregoire sliding down, got the glove back up, and the puck ended up right in the heel of the glove, and the save for Moorhead. Get their impressions on this first period of play. We also want to remind you that there was a very big basketball game being played across the street tonight at the Moorhead Gym. In girls basketball, Moorhead once beaten taking on unbeaten Hawley. Place will be rocking for that one. Nick Dodge stands in for Moorhead. The face-off goes to the outer circle, and from there a shot put on goal, and Gregoire steers it off to the near side. Picked up by Andy Ryerson, drops it to the far corner, and it's poked out to center for John Tranby. He'll bring it into the zone. His return pass is knocked away by the Cardinals, and it's poked into the Spud zone. Cardinals will change at the 3:16 mark. Back up ice quickly, Chad Hacker forces the Spuds to play the puck. And along the near side, it's poked loose. Now taken away by B.J. Anderson. Works it off on the far side. Here's a centering pass, and this shot hit the post next to Gregoire. Bouncing behind the net. Cardinals have had their opportunities here. Here's a shot from the point that bounces wide of the mark. Loose to the far corner. Tangled up for just a moment. Now taken out of the corner, moving in. The shot, pass out in front. The return is knocked loose and behind. To the far side, here's Andy Cavers. Passes it back out in front. The Spuds with a stick on the ice again, poke it loose. It ends up high in the slot. Jeff Krause shoots and scores! The Cardinals have come back to tie the game. The Cardinals kept on with the pressure, and the Spuds could not get the puck out of the zone. And finally, Jeff Krause ties the game at the 12:25 mark. Jeff Krause with the goal, assists going to Andy Cavers. And the second assist for Alexandria going to Brian Gaffney. So Jeff Krause with the goal. The defenseman gets his 6th goal of the year. Andy Cavers on the assist, his 10th, and Brian Gaffney for the Cardinals, the defenseman, with his 22nd assist. And it's a 1-1 hockey game with 2:18 to go here in the first period. Spuds at center ice, have it poked away. Taken back by Bagney. Puts it into the zone. Here's Nelson working it off to the right side, trying to get around the defender. Puts a weak backhand on. Knocked loose by Nate Wright. And it's cleared out of the corner, comes rink wide, but kept in now by Giroy. Skates it along the boards. It's poked loose from him, and B.J. Anderson comes up with it. His pass out to center, and again Giroy keeps it in. It's picked up by Kramer. Drops it back for Bagney. Puts it in, the shot, the rebound. Kicked off to the near side. Giroy back into the corner. Kramer out in front for Simonson. Circling in, he puts the shot on. It's loose in the crease, and the save, Blair Hovel. Some exciting hockey action here in the first period. Tied at 1. Both goaltenders have been outstanding. And both offensive units have put extreme pressure on in the offensive zone. Face-off will come to the right side of Hovel now with 1:40 to play. Spuds got the game opener at 2:13. Brian Nelson with his 24th. And then at the 12:25 mark, Jeff Krause of Alexandria with his 6th of the year to tie the game at 1 apiece. Puck goes down to Mark Bjorklund, drops it to the corner. Along the boards, it's picked up by Jeff Krause. He'll bring it along the near side with a pass ahead for B.J. Anderson. Then it's taken back. The Spuds return. They have the icing call here with a hard pass that gets ahead of Mark Bjorklund and past him and past the end line in Moorhead. To the right side of Jason Gregoire. 1-1 hockey game. Mark Bjorklund stands in. Drops it back for Nate Running. Feeds the pass ahead. It bounces off a skate of Josh Kramer. Then it's returned off the boards, and the Cardinals have it. They'll have it 4-on-2 at the line, but the pass is deflected away by Running and picked up by Bjorklund near side for Moorhead. He's checked off the play. The Spuds get a stick on it, then taken back by Andy Cavers. Moving in along the far side and Running. Runs him wide, and it's loose in the corner. Poked loose now with 1 minute to play. Nate Running behind the net. Feeds it off on the near side for Simonson. Gets over his stick and out to the point. Sent back in by Nate Wright. From behind the net, Andy Ryerson goes in, leaves the puck behind him. Running there to pick it up for the Spuds. Backhands it out past a Spud player, and a shot from the point bounces high in the air, comes down to the slot, the turn, the shot is wide. In behind the net, Alexandria putting on pressure here late in the period. From behind the net, picked up by B.J. Anderson. Circling now, heading up on the near side. Here's the pass, and he scores! B.J. Anderson looked like he was trying to feed it out in front, but somehow at a 90-degree angle, it trickled past Jason Gregoire. And the Cardinals have taken a 2-1 lead. B.J. Anderson with the goal, and that's his 19th of the year. The goal coming at 14:33. So the Cardinals putting out a lot of pressure. The goal will actually go to Jay Kopishki, with the assist going to Stuart Sendon. Jay Kopishki from Stuart Sendon. And it's 2-1. Alexandria now has the lead. Kopishki's 18th of the year. Sendon with his 14th assist. 20 seconds left in the period. In the far side, Stuart Sendon shoulders his way loose. Picks up the loose puck. Brian Nelson to take it away. Lost it out at center ice. It's poked away with 8 seconds to go back into the Spud zone. Brian Gaffney back. 3 seconds to go, and they'll send it out. And the horn sounds, but the Cardinals, after trailing early, have come back with 2 goals at the end of the period and head to the locker room with a 2-1 lead. After 1 period of play from the Moorhead Sports Center, it's Alexandria 2 and Moorhead 1. Mark with 27 seconds left in the period. Kopishki back off Gregoire, and it slid past him. It came in at a 90-degree angle. Looked like he was going to try to center it, but it may have struck a stick or a skate along the way and just trickled past Jason Gregoire for the goal, and that gives Alexandria a 2-1 lead at the first period. Stuart Sendon getting the assist on that goal. Blair Hovel faced 7 shots in the first period, 6 saves. Jason Gregoire facing 9 shots in the period and recording 7 saves. So the Cardinals doing as good a job, in fact better than most teams, in getting shots on goal. Although they went through some dry periods through that period, it looked like the Spuds defensive unit was able to control play and limit the scoring possibilities. But in the last 3 to 3.5 minutes of play, the momentum clearly switched over to Alexandria, and they put pressure on in the zone, and the Spuds really didn't have a chance in the offense, in their own offensive end from that point on, and the Cardinals came up with 2 goals in that time span and lead it at the end of the first period. You're listening to Spud Hockey on the Fan. We'll be back with more in our first intermission with the score after 1, Alexandria 2 and Moorhead 1.
Scored in the first 13 seconds of the game, and after that it was easy riding from there.
It seems that at this point of the year you have a chance to play a team a second time, and you can from that point gauge what kind of progress you've made.
Yeah, we feel we've made that progress. We had our boys have really started to develop well. They're learning the team game, they're learning the high school game better, where it's a little different game than what they're used to in the Bantams. and they're basically, for the most part, first-year players, and they're playing better. They're maturing as hockey players.
A couple of games ago, we heard from Terry Cullen talk about the new checking method, the stick checking that they're using on the puck. Are you incorporating that into your junior varsity as well?
Right. We feel as a program that the stick-to-stick checking is a great idea. It's a great defensive hockey tool for us to use, and we got to start it in the junior varsity program as we want to be the building block for the varsity. And so the players are comfortable when they play with us, they can step right into the varsity game if they get the opportunity.
Certainly not a new concept in hockey, but why incorporate that at this point?
Well, we figure it makes keeping our sticks on the ice, blocking their passes really limits them. You know, when you think of checking, you think of two big bruisers running at each other head to head and knocking each other down. Well, that in a sense is nice for some people or for some types of players. But you take a guy such as Mark Cullen, for example, or he's not a 210-pounder. He's got to be able to use his stick. He's got to be quick, and he's create a mess on the ice for the other team.
And so the Spuds got a 7-0 win in junior varsity play. Some of the highlights of that game.
The highlights, we just played a really fantastic game. Physically, Jeremy Vatnsdal got a shutout. I think that could be the second or third of the year for us. It was just a great all-around team effort. We had goals from some different guys again. Matt Engelstead. Brian Famous played an excellent game. He continues to work hard day in and day out.
The Spuds varsity, meanwhile, saw an early lead and early tempo disappear in this first period as the Cardinals rode evenly with the Spuds into the final 3 minutes of the period, and then ending up with 2 goals to take a 2-1 lead into the locker room.
Actually, I think that score is kind of misleading. Jason Gregor has played a fantastic game so far, and he's really kept us in it. From looking at our shot charts, they're getting way too many shots in close, and fortunately Jason's playing so far his game of the year.
From the games that I've had a chance to see this year, this is by far the best opponent.
Right. Alexandria came out like we thought they would. They're good in the offensive zone. They're playing a little more physical than we anticipated, but I think a lot of that is due to what we're doing. We're not taking care of our own business in our defensive zone. They're beating us to loose pucks, and that's an adjustment that we're going to have to make.
Last time we had a chance to talk, we heard some of the same type of some of these same types of words from you after one period of play, and saw a different Moorhead team come out in the second.
Right. We're trying to get ourselves a good start, and sometimes the first period is kind of slow for us. When we get the adjustments made that we want to make, we play good in our defensive zone. Hey, that stems your offense, and that's what we're really going to look for.
And so we're heading into a very crucial part of the game, that second period. It's been an important part of whatever success Moorhead might have this season.
Right, and we're going to look to go at him in the second period, beat him down a little bit, or try to wear him out, and then get him into the third. The third period is what we've talked about so much as being the Moorhead period or our period, and that's what we're going to look to do tonight.
Yeah, the last 4 games have seen a turnaround in that department this year, where they are now Moorhead's game again.
Right, yeah, and we figure that's, again, catching on to the system, a bunch of new players again. Get the hockey system down, go out there and work hard, and good things will happen.
Well, you mentioned just a moment ago, and we hope that you'll be able to bring Matt Cullen up to visit with us during the second period break, a chance for him to take a break from his Husky hockey and get a chance to see a couple of pretty good high school programs go at each other tonight.
Yeah, I know Matt is pretty interested in what his brother's doing up here and what his father's doing. And to tell you the truth, I've only seen him once up here. When he played in the World Junior Tournament, that was his Christmas break, and he was able to come home for one day, and so I'm sure he's happy to be home. He sees 2 good teams playing, and
we hope that we'll have a chance to visit with Matt during our second period. Tony, thanks, and we'll look forward to another visit later.
All right,
in the
Larry,
game.
thank you.
Tony Kunka with us at the end of one period of play here at the Moorhead Sports Center. It's Alexandria 2 and Moorhead 1. Armstrong and have now won 7 in a row, and they would like nothing better than to be at the top of Section 8 when the tournament play is completed and a chance to go to the big show at the St. Paul Civic Center. And from what we've seen here tonight, if they should happen to do that, they would do nothing but bid Section 8 very well. Cardinals are just now coming back onto the ice, and we'll take this final timeout before the start of the second period. After 1 from the Moorhead Sports Center, Alexandria 2 and Moorhead 1. In the first period, Moorhead put 7 shots on goal. Alexandria putting 9 shots on goal. But Alexandria has a 2-1 lead. And there were no penalties in that first period. As we start the second period, John Cullen will stand in against Troy Bagney. And the Spuds will attack the goal to our right here in the second period of play. Trailing now 2-1. Off the face-off, Spuds control. Brian Nelson brings it in. He'll carry it all the way to the corner. Circling the net, still controls. Tries a wraparound and hits the base of the net. Bouncing right back to Nelson. Loose in the corner, and it's taken away by John Cullen. He'll head up with it. Lifts it up and out of the zone and comes down at center. Picked up by Jay Kopishki. Gets loose from him. Backhanded. Picked up by Nate Ronning. Spuds have it back. And the bounce off the boards. Tipped away from Bagney. And the Cardinals have it at center with a breakaway. John Cullen works it on the right side for Kopishki. Pulls up at the point. Feeds it near side. Deflected by Brian Nelson. And loose from him, Nate Ronning in the corner to pick it up for Moorhead. Poked away. Now on the near side, past Nate Wright. Bounce back into the corner. John Cullen tries to backhand it out. Right into the crease, and Gregoire spotted it and flicks it out of the area. Back along the near side. Out to the point area. Nate Wright feeds it back in. It's knocked loose. Right back in behind the net. Bounce to the far side. Circling behind. Here's a centering pass that gets through to the point. Wind up on the shot block. Fades. And it comes out to center. Nate Wright back on his skates. Dumps it back into the Spud zone. Gregoire leaves it for Ryerson, who skates past the puck, and Alexandria has it right back in the attack zone. Off on the far circle. Moving in, it's knocked loose. Centering pass just in front of the stick of Chad Hacker. Back behind the net. Loose to the far corner. Intended for P.J. Anderson. Loose now and picked up. Here come the Spuds running with a pass near side for John Tranby. Takes a big hit into the plexiglass and bounces back quickly into play. The return puck to the near side, sent rink wide and out to center. Jesse Giroy skates past the puck. He was ready to turn up ice, and it's picked up. A shot on goal. Save Jason Gregoire. Giroy had the puck alone and was turning to return the pass, and then it escaped the stick. Andy Cavers picked it up for Alexandria, moved in on goal, and Gregoire was there for the save. We're seeing fire of Moorhead and Blair Hobel of the Cardinals. Just underway, second period. 2-1 Alexandria on the Elders Communication scoreboard. Spuds standing and waiting for the Cardinals to come on for the faceoff. Nick Dodge is ready to square up. John Cullen is back on now for the Cardinals. The puck goes down. It's drawn to the far corner. Jesse Giroy picks it up. Sets up behind his net. Feeds it on the near side for Tranby. Flicks it out. It's at the point. Knocked loose from there. Giroy has to clear it. He slides down to the ice, and it escapes to the boards. Kopishki goes in after. Then Giroy takes it away from him. Bounces it behind the net with a pass to B.J. Knutson far side. Then out to Fred Bentz. Leaves it on the near side. He's ridden off the play. Puck is loose at the center ice circle, and Tranby picks it up. Leads it for Dodge. One-on-one near side for Tranby. And he's ridden into the boards near side. Puck is loose. Dodge comes in for it to poke it away. An Alexandria player hits the deck. Puck is loose out in front. Shot on. Deflected in traffic and back out high. Kopishki picks it up. Feeds it on the right side with a nifty pass for Brad Westfall. And it's off to the far side. Simison picks it up. He'll bounce it up along the boards. Onto the ice now and still along the far side. Return to near the corner. Kopishki has it for a moment, then puts it out in front, and a sliding block by Giroy. Picked up by Simison along the boards far side and out to center. Long pass taken back by Jeff Krause of the Cardinals. The pass on the near side picked up by Chad Hacker off the board. Sends it rink wide. Comes out for Brad Westfall. He'll bring it back into the zone and move in. Then is ridden off the play as he got the puck off to B.J. Anderson. And from the far side you could hear the clink. And it ends up going in. And the Cardinals have scored to take a 3-1 lead. 3:09, the time of the goal. The Cardinals taking the pass off the far side, and a hard booming shot that clinked hard on the post and ended up behind. The goal goes to B.J. Anderson, his 20th of the year, second tonight. The assist going to Andy Cavers, his 11th, and to Chad Hacker, his 20th. So B.J. Anderson with the goal. We mentioned that was his second tonight. No, it is not. It is his first. And the Cardinals now lead it 3-1. Face off. Bounces back into the Spud zone. Cleared to the corner. Mark Cullen goes in after it. Puts it out on the near side. Here comes Troy Bagney. It's 3-on-2 at the line. Bagney brings it in. Feeds it off on the left side. Sliding in, and a shot fails as it misfired, and a spud hits the deck hard and on his backside. Oh, a big hit behind the net, and a Spud player still sprawled out on his back. And we'll have a penalty coming up, the first of the night. Michelle Widrick making her way onto the ice now, the Moorhead trainer. But the play, fast-paced, headed up, and a big check put on from behind will result in a penalty to Brian Gaffney of Alexandria. Gaffney making his way to the penalty box on the near side. And the Spud player, not yet identified, still lying on the ice behind the Alexandria net. But a big hit put on, rattled the plexiglass, and the Spud player comes back down, and team members from both sides have gone to their respective benches now. It may be just a moment before play will resume. And Michelle Widrick is waving to the bench area and asking for some help, I think, from the Moorhead team. 11.5 to go. Alexandria has jumped up 3-1 on the Spuds. B.J. Anderson scoring his 20th of the season. Andy Cavers and Chad Hacker assisting. And we have an injury here at the Moorhead Sports Center, still attending to the injured Spud player behind the net to our right side. There's a 2-minute minor up on the board against Alexandria's Brian Gaffney, and that will run down as soon as play is able to begin. The Moorhead Drug and the Moorhead Center Mall is proud to be a sponsor of Moorhead Spuds hockey. Moorhead Drug has proudly served the community for 75 years. And if you're in the market for real estate, whether it be to buy a new home, a different home, or to sell the one you currently are in, give Wagner Realty a call. The real estate professionals, Wagner Realty, located in the Moorhead Center Mall. Give Wagner Realty a call. They're the sign that sells. And the Moorhead Center Mall would also like to wish the Moorhead Spuds the best of luck this season and in tonight's game. And she is paying close attention to the injured Spud player. At this point, we've not been able to identify who that is, but now sitting up. And Brian Nelson, who had taken the long pass, Spuds had a big rush on, 3-on-2 at the line. And as he's tried to circle the defenseman, come in on, was ridden hard into the boards, and it's Brian Nelson that's shaken up for Moorhead. Play has stopped here with 11 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the second period. Both these teams will be back in action Thursday night. The Spuds will stay at home to take on East Grand Forks, a team they defeated earlier this year by a score of 2-1. And the Cardinals will go on the road. They'll be at Brainerd on Thursday night to take on the Warriors. Teammates Mark Cullen and Troy Bagney out and are guiding Brian Nelson to the bench area on the far side. He was up and was sliding off okay. Really didn't need to lend his arm out and be supported in any way. He was able to skate off okay. Michelle Widrick will take him into the training room now and further examine him to make sure of no further damage. So after the shake-up injury to Brian Nelson, the Spuds are back on. Josh Kramer, John Tranby now will be centered by Mark Cullen. And the face-off down, Spuds on the power play. Troy Bagney is back at the point along with Andy Ryerson. Near side pass picked up by Josh Kramer. He's sandwiched off the play. Cullen picks it up behind the net, circling, drops it off the boards and chasing it down. Feeds it out to the point. Andy Ryerson slides it in. It bounces wide of the mark. Tranby had a deflection wide. Tied up in behind the net. Tranby goes in after it, tries to poke it loose. Scrambling for it still, and here comes Mark Cullen. He'll try the wraparound, then gets ridden wide. Out to Bagney. High in the slot, winding up, and the shot is wide of the mark. It ricochets all the way out to the point. Ryerson keeps it in. Loads one up from there. Loose in the slot. Backhanded off to the far side. Tranby tries to chase it down, but it's brought out of the zone on a nifty backhand by Jeff Krause. It comes all the way down and on goal. The Spuds will come back to pick it up. A long pass out is wide of Mark Cullen. It gets past Nate, right of Alexandria. He's ridden hard into the corner. Spuds on the power play. From the near side of the net, Simison moving in, tries to poke one. It's rejected by Hobel. Knocked out to the point. Giroy lines it up and feeds a pass off to the far side. Bjorklund moves in, the shot, the save. A rebound shot, the save. Tipped off on the near side. Bagney keeps it in the zone. Here's Bjorklund feeding it to Bentz, and it's just ahead of him behind the net. 43 seconds left in the Alexandria penalty. Bagney feeds it off on the right side for Bjorklund. He's ridden wide of the play. Simonson picks it up, turns, puts a shot on. It's blocked by Jeff Krause of Alexandria. Tracked down to the corner. Simonson picks it up again, bounces it off to the near side. Bentz walking in from the bad angle, returns it out to the point. Bagney back to Bentz moving in. It's poked away nicely by Nate Wright. And out to the point it comes. Bagney returns it deep in the corner. 15 seconds left on the Alexandria penalty. Bentz carries it off the boards moving in. He'll slide it behind the net, tries a wraparound. It's rejected there by Hobel. Picked up on the far side by Bjorklund. Out to the point. Bagney walking in. Escapes one, but not a second defenseman. Alexandria comes back on and is ridden off the penalty. They have been very good in that department, allowing their opponents only a 20% opportunity or a 20% power play goals. The Spuds maintaining possession, however. Here's a pass out in front. Knocked loose. The Spuds pick it up. Kramer feeds it back to the far side. Bjorklund's pass gets high and out to the zone. Picked up by Alexandria. Chad Hacker moves in. The shot from behind the net. Nestled up on top for a moment. It looked like it had scored, but it caught the backside of the post and then rested on top of the net. And the Alexandria fans here were excited, thinking they might have taken a 3-goal lead. But the shot behind the net, finally nestling on top to stop play, and a face-off will be to the right side of Jeremy Gregoire. Jason Gregoire in goal tonight for Moorhead. 8:58 to go, second period. 3-1. Alexandria with the lead. Tim Legrid will come on now. He'll skate with Mark Cullen. Troy Bagney. And Tim Legrid has the big shoes to fill now with Brian Nelson injured. Bagney will handle the face-off. Near his own netminder, draws it back to the corner, and it's picked up by Nate Ronning. He circles, ridden off the play by Kopishki, then poked away by Cullen to the near corner. Nate Ronning picks it up for Moorhead, feeds it all along the boards, elbowed out, the puck near the point, knocked loose. Spuds steer it off to the far side. Mark Cullen brings it out to center. His head man for Bagney is knocked down. Loose now along the boards, and the Cardinals take it back. Now reaching in, Troy Bagney picks the pocket and heads up ice. It's 2-on-1. The shot blocked off a stick and loose in the slot for Kopishki. He'll bring it back up ice for Alexandria. He is ridden wide of the mark by Ryerson, but Kopishki stays on, centering past the shot, point blank missed. It was right on the stick. And Stewart sent and fanned on it. It ends up out on the near side, a poke at it. Blair Hobel spread eagled, finally puts the glove on top. Fred Bentz had it in the crease, couldn't get the stick on it in time, and Hobel covers up. End-to-end action here at the Moorhead Sports Center. 3-1, Moorhead holding the lead with 8:07 to go in the second period. Spuds playing without Brian Nelson, who was shaken up moments ago on a hard rush up ice, ended up into the plexiglass behind the Alexandria net. Nick Dodge stands in for the face-off again for Moorhead. He'll stand in against B.J. Anderson of Alex. Puck is down, Cardinals control. Along the near side, poked off the boards. Picked up by Nick Dodge, moving in. He's got the open net, the shot, the skate, saved by Hobel. Rebounded out in front. We've got an Alexandria penalty coming up, and now the whistle blows as it's deflected out by B.J. Anderson. The Spuds again an opportunity, but Blair Hobel has come up big. But the Spuds will have a second power play opportunity. Spuds coming into tonight's game had connected on 22 of 52 tries for 42%. Alexandria, they have not been on the power play yet tonight, but are converting on nearly 70% of their power play opportunities. But the two penalties called in tonight's game, both against the Cardinals. This one against Jeff Krause will give the Spuds a man advantage with a face-off to the right side of Blair Hobel. Puck is drawn down. Ryerson lines it up and shoots wide. Bounces off to the near side, and it's sent out of the zone and down. Spuds go back to pick it up. B.J. Anderson will go down and try to cause some troubles for the Cardinals, but the long pass fed out. Deflected down, and here's Josh Kramer. He'll whistle it in along the near side, carried deep into the corner. Kramer still on his skates. Circles around, lost the puck in the corner, poked away from him to the board's far side, and it's lifted out of the zone. Cardinals send the Spuds back chasing. Halfway through the second period, it's 3-1 Alexandria on the Elders Communication scoreboard. Spuds on the power play. Here's John Tranby bringing it back into the zone. Backhand pass for Cullen. Pulls the trigger. Shot hit traffic. Bounced off a skate of Brian Gaffney. Deflected to the far side. Cullen picks it up again. Circling back, drops it to the corner. Now it rims behind the net. Kramer is ridden down hard. Still sliding along as the puck comes to the near boards. Cullen goes in after it. Now Tranby picks it loose from Moorhead. Tries to skate it out to the point. Lost it at the boards, and it's sent back out of the zone. Alexandria so far has been able to hold the Spuds away from a good shot attempt on this Moorhead power play. Poked away at center ice, but Giroy picks it up. Now leaves it for Fred Bentz along the far side. His backhand. Cardinals were there. Simonson comes in to spoil the play. Puck poked out on the near side, high in the slot. Here's Troy Bagney. He'll wind up in this shot right on. Rebound kicked out in front. Bjorklund's shot misses wide. Back out to the point for Bagney. He'll line it up from there, and it deflects twice off first Kopischke and then John Cullen of Alexandria. Back to the point. Spuds retaining possession. Knocked loose and bounces back into the Spud zone right outside of Gregoire. 14 seconds to go on the Moorhead power play. Return pass to Bentz. One last chance up ice. The shot wide. Rebounds out to the far side, picked up by Giroy. He'll line one up. Shot hit the glove. Bounced out in front and cleared by Kopischke along the near side. Kept in at the point, no. It came outside and Bagney brought it back in. Not more than half the width of the puck outside the zone as the Cardinals come back at full strength. Nick Dodge stands in. Dodge will face off with Micah Raddick. And the puck comes out of the Alexandria zone through center ice. All the way down, icing is waved off. Big pileup of players. And it's cleared out by Andy Ryerson. His pass out to center. Knocked loose. Here comes Ryan Fogelskate again. He's shot. Rebound to save. Rebound to save. And no goal. Ryan Fogel just on, getting his first shift tonight. Put a shot on. It got between the pads of Blair Hobel. Managed to keep it from crossing the goal line. It was still in play. Another Spud took a poke at it. And this time it ended up in the glove of Blair Hobel. The Spud fans on the far side right at the goal line thought it might have gone in. And they rose as though to cheer. But the save to Blair Hobel. And it remains 3-1. 5:25 to go. Both teams slow and coming back on the ice now. The officials are waving a couple of the Alexandria players back into the penalty box. The Spuds, as the home team, have the last exchange. And the officials keeping an eye on who comes in and who leaves. We'll put the puck down with 5:25 to go. It'll be to the left side of Blair Hobel. Troy Bagney on now. For Moorhead will face up with B.J. Anderson of Alexandria. Puck is drawn to the near side. B.J. Knutson of Moorhead slides it into the boards, and it's dropped out of the zone. It'll come all the way down. Spuds will track it down. It gets past the end line, and icing is called against Alexandria, and that stops play with 5:15 to go. And in the second period here at the Moorhead Sports Center, the Cardinals are leading the Spuds by a score of 3-1. Putting an office supply, Main Avenue in Moorhead. Spuds come back on, and Brian Nelson has returned. Brian Nelson will join line mates Troy Bagney and Mark Cullen. Off the face-off, kicked in behind the net. Tracked on by John Cullen of Alexandria. Feeds it out on the right side. It's poked away there by Jesse Giroy to Mark Cullen of Moorhead. Feeds it out in front. The shot slides wide. Picked up by Bagney. Tries the wraparound. Poked back out to Giroy. He'll knock it into the corner. Bagney picks it up. Here's a centering pass. Knocked away by John Cullen of Moorhead. Alexandria, rather. His high pass flipped out of the air by Giroy. Leaves it for Nelson. Shot is blocked. It hit the pads hard and bounced all the way out to center ice. Spuds are back to pick it up. B.J. Knutson ducks underneath the defender and slides the pass out for Tranby. Then it's returned and Bagney brings it into the zone. He'll slide it up and a shot on goal, and Hobel is there with the save. Troy Bagney held the blue line just long enough, allowing Brian Nelson to come back onside, and then brought it in and whistled a shot in on Hobel. Nick Dodge for the face-off from Moorhead, draws it to the far side boards. cleared off the boards by Jeff Krause of Alexandria. Sends it near side, puts it on the stick of Chad Hacker, and it's knocked away from him, then loose out high in the slot. Fred Bentz takes it back. The shot, Hobel with the save. He's coming up big here in the second period. Knocked it all the way out to center ice, and Fred Bentz has it for a moment. Then it's knocked loose from him, and the Cardinals come back with it. Near side for Anderson. He'll bring it into the zone. Flying into the corner. Anderson's backhand against the side base, and Gregoire hangs on. He had the stick down, he had the pad down, and finally put the glove on top of the puck for the save. Cardinals are doing a nifty job of looking for the centering pass and then putting the shot in at the bad angle. They got one goal to go in near the end of the first period, and this one bounced off the base of the net. 3-1. Alexandria the lead. 3:59 remaining. Face-off right side of Gregoire. Puck goes down, knocked out to the slot, and the shot sent on, deflected out by Gregoire. Loose to the near corner, bounced off the boards, picked up and sent back in by Chad Hacker. From behind the net, Ryerson returns it along the near side. Spud's having trouble getting out of the zone. Now the pass out to center. Nick Dodge tries to chase it down. He'll see it all the way into the zone before the Spuds go on the change. The Cardinals are back to pick it up. Bounce pass along the near side, picked up by Hacker. He'll carry it into the zone, bothered all the way, and his backhand whistles out high in the slot, picked off the far boards. And the Cardinals are in the attack zone. Brian Gaffney on the far side. Gaffney now picks it off the boards, backhands it high, it sails up and behind the net. Loose out in front, a backhand swipe at it, floats in on goal, and Gregoire has the save. The Cardinals taking advantage of every opportunity. A loose puck lying about 10 feet in front of Gregoire. Rob Buttweiler, who had no business even taking a shot at it, but was able to lie down on his back and take a swipe at the puck, and actually will get credit for a shot on goal. Gregoire with the glove save stops play with 3:13 to go. Second period action from the Moorhead Sports Center. Cardinals holding a 3-1 lead on Moorhead, trying to improve a 7-game win streak and solidify a #1 spot in the north half of Section 8. Troy Bagney back on the ice for Moorhead. He'll face up with John Cullen. Puck goes down and it's drawn back. Cardinals control the shot, kicked out by Gregoire. Rebound put back in, hit traffic. Cullen picks it out of the corner. Sends it out high in the slot, and the Cardinals take it back. A backhand in by Stuart Senden. Returned on the near side, Mark Cullen of Moorhead. Out to center and through it. Brian Nelson will track it down, but it had too much on it, and it gets past the end line. Icing is called against Moorhead. Well, it's good to see Brian Nelson back in the lineup. He took a big hit behind the net and laid on the ice a long while before getting back on his skates and sliding off. And a quick check by Michelle Widrick and the Moorhead training staff, allowing him to come back on the ice after about a 3, maybe a 4-minute rest. Troy Bagney again for Moorhead, and John Cullen of Alexandria. Face off in the Moorhead zone, right side of Gregoire. Cardinals making some adjustments here just before the puck goes down, putting Senden off now in the slot area, and Kapishke to the near side. Off the face off to the point, shot set on, it's deflected, picked up. Cullen backhands it, bad angle, kicked away. Spuds come up with it along the near side. Knocked out to center ice near the blue line, but kept in. Brought back by John Cullen, walking up the slot, the backhand, kicked out by Gregoire. Off to the near corner. Tracked down, and the Spuds come up with it. Here's Mark Cullen working 1-on-2. Bagney joins him now. Here's the backhand shot, saved by Hobel. Right out in front to his defenseman. Brian Gaffney picks it up and clears it out to center ice. Spuds will come onside. The return pass along the boards, and the Cardinals are waiting. Here's John Cullen moving in. He'll wind up from there. The shot deflected on a stick, saved by Gregoire. Off to the far side with 2:12 to go in the second. Here's a headman. Moving it alone, Mark Bjorklund shoots wide. Sailed it up and missed the upper corner. He had the open corner but missed it as it came off the toe of the stick. Now loose out at center ice. He was all alone in the zone. Spuds come back with it. It floats in on goal. Randy Ryerson protecting his goal, slides in front of the puck. Now it's loose out in front. The shot hit traffic and bounces off to the far side. Picked up now, and the shot on it again, the save by Gregoire. Now cleared out in front. Here's Josh Kramer of Moorhead, bringing it into the zone. Kramer stick handling it, loose to deep into the corner, sends in a bad angle shot. Rebound, Simison the save. Out in front, the poke, and Dodge now picks it up. He'll carry it off to the far corner. Out near the point, Dodge still with it. Dodge circles around, sends it out to the point, and quickly knocked back in by Giroy. Circling the net, Spuds will make a defensive change as it comes out along the near side, and Alexandria clears the zone, and it's poked back to the boards near side. Quickly dumped into the Moorhead zone. 1:10 to go and clock running here in the second. 3-1 Alexandria. John Tranby along the near side. Feeds it off on the far side for Fred Bentz. He'll send it out to the boards with 1 minute to go. Picked off by Giroy. He's battled for it, knocked away from him. Finally clear it along the near side. And John Tranby hands it out for Nick Dodge. He'll bring it into the zone. Tranby now shoots. Block Hovel. Kicked it back out on the near side. Loose to the boards. And picked up by the Cardinals. Moving in is Micah Raddick. C feeds it off on the near side. The shot sent on. And it's deflected off to the near boards. Stuart Senden with the shot bouncing high out to center. Here comes Troy Bagney moving in. The shot blocked by traffic. Brian Gaffney got a skate on it. 20 seconds to go in the period. Here's Mark Cullen in the far corner. Leaves it out for Brian Nelson. Then back to Mark Cullen deep in the corner to the point. Sent in by Ryerson, and he scores! Andy Ryerson sent it in from the point, and it deflected off a Spud skate or stick. And finally, the Spuds have been able to get one past Blair Hovel here in the second period. The goal coming at 14:49. Nelson with his second tonight, his 25th of the year, to make it a 3-2 hockey game. Big goal for the Spuds. The puck at center ice drawn back in. Now sent off to the far side. Along the board, sent out to center. Here comes Mark Cullen. He'll not get the shot away, and the teams will go to the locker room. It's a one-goal game. We'll head to the third period with the score after 2. Alexandria 3 and Moorhead 2. Moorhead has gotten a late goal in the second period to make it a one-goal game, 3-2 after 2. In that second period, Jason Gregoire with 13 saves, game total of 20 now. And for Blair Hovel of Alexandria, 10 saves in the second, game total 16. Scoring at the 3:09 mark of the second period, B.J. Anderson for Alexandria to make it a 3-1 game. And the Spuds putting the pressure on in the last 3 to 4 minutes of play. Finally got the puck out in front, and Brian Nelson, after returning from the injury, slipped on in with 11 seconds to go in the period. Mark Cullen and Andy Ryerson assisting to make it a 3-2 game after 2 periods of play. Matt Cullen, who played on this ice 3 years, 2 years, and a year ago, is with us now as he is here. This is kind of a family reunion, isn't it, Matt, to see brother Mark and Dad out there coaching, and then to have a cousin out there as well. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's really nice to be home and see Johnny and Mark on the ice and see my dad and the rest of the family. So it's a lot of fun to see everybody and a lot of the old friends from high school too, so it's a good time.
Are you seeing anything that you didn't expect in this hockey game tonight?
No, actually I haven't really seen the Spuds play a lot this year. You know, I've been pretty busy or whatever, but I'm impressed. I mean, especially this last period, they've been playing real well. The goalie from Alex is playing great. I mean, he's stopping pucks that he hasn't even seen. So I think the Spuds are playing pretty well, and hopefully they can continue to play well in the third and get a couple more.
I think that was evidenced during that second period of play. Blair Hovel was outstanding.
Yeah.
Everything that was thrown up there was knocked away by him.
Yeah, he really stopped pretty much everything.
And until that final one came in, and he really didn't have much to do on that one. It just kind of trickled out in front of him. They got the deflection, and he was left alone.
Yeah, that was a great play by Brian Nelson to tip that out of the air. And I mean, it was just good play by the Spuds all around. They were putting pressure on for a long time, and finally they got a break and one went in for them.
You have a bit of an idea of what this Alexandria team might have been like this year, having played them a year ago, and it was a tough game.
Yeah, they're a really talented team. You know, last year they were mostly juniors, and now this year obviously they're mostly a senior team. So, you know, obviously they're going to be a good club this year. They got some real good talent, and I think they're pretty well coached, so they're a good team.
It sounds like there are perhaps 4 players on the Alexandria team that may go Division I at some point in their careers, if not next year, after maybe a year or 2 of juniors.
Yeah, I would imagine. There's some real good hockey players on that club.
Let's catch up to date a little bit on Matt Cullen and what has happened this past year after going to St. Cloud. The Huskies have struggled at times this year, but it looks like you're developing some things now at this point of the season and getting some good things to happen.
Yeah, we're starting to play a little better now. We had a real tough start there. I think we're mostly a freshman team right now, so I think it took a little while for everybody to kind of get used to playing in the WCHA and get used to the league. So I think we're starting to come around now. We're getting a few points now, and we're moving up a little bit in the standings. So hopefully, we can get a couple wins here at the end going into playoffs.
You were on the road this past weekend at Michigan Tech. Got 3 points there with a win and a tie. That has to feel good to get 3 points on a road swing.
Yeah, we really played well this weekend. It was too bad we didn't get the other point. We kind of gave away a win there at the end. Ended up with a tie, but we're starting to play a lot better now, and we're finally getting a few points, so things are kind of turning our way a little bit.
The hockey world was kind of put on its ear a little bit with the sweep by North Dakota this past weekend over Minnesota.
Yeah, that was a big surprise. I mean, North Dakota's a good team, but Minnesota, I think, is maybe the best team in the league. I mean, Colorado's a good team, but talent-wise, I might say that Minnesota's a little bit better, so I mean, I think that was a pretty big surprise by North Dakota.
I don't think it's surprising that a team that has been playing as well as Minnesota in the WCHA and other teams, regardless of the sport, that have been playing well to this point of the year, we kind of get into the dog days of winter. Upsets will happen.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, teams might take a night off, and I think in the WCHA you can't really take a night off because most of the teams are pretty even. They're just a little different, and if when you take a night off, then it can go either way.
Bring us up to date about a former high school teammate of yours, Ryan Frisch, who went along to St. Cloud with you, and what's going on with him.
Ryan's playing real well. He's played in, I think, almost every game now, and he hasn't been scoring a lot, but I mean, that's understandable. He's playing pretty well, and I think he's improved a lot this year, and I think his role will be a lot more important next year. And I think the coaches are looking for a lot of good things out of him next year.
What lies ahead for the Huskies in the next weekends?
This coming weekend we have Alaska coming to our place, and then after that, then we finish out at home with Minnesota and then Colorado College. So this is a real big weekend for us to get a few points because the next 2 weekends will be pretty tough.
Well, yeah, talk about going out with a flourish there against Minnesota and Colorado College. You look forward to taking on Minnesota when that series comes along and renewing some old acquaintances?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, a lot of the guys on the ice, and it's kind of fun to play against them and try to get a win out of there. But I mean, I think you just got to kind of go into it as another series, and it's a big series for us though. So we're looking forward to it. Has the
WCHA been what you thought it would be?
Yeah, I guess, it was kind of nice to be able to talk to, like, Ryan Kraft and Josh Arnold before going into it, and, they kind of told me that it was going to be a lot bigger and faster, and, the level of play was just that much higher, so I think it was kind of what I expected, yeah.
Matt, we sure appreciate you taking time out, and you'll be able to go back down and around the ice here and be a spectator. That's kind of a different situation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Thanks again, Matt.
No problem.
Matt Cullen has been with us during our second period break tonight as the former Spud here to cheer on brother Mark, and on the other side of the ice to cheer on his cousin John, as the teams have skated to a one-goal game. After 2 periods of play here at the Moorhead Sports Center, it's Alexandria 3 and Moorhead 2. Blair Hobel had 13 saves on 14 shots for a 2-period total now of 19. Jason Gregoire with 10 saves facing 10 shots in the second period, a 2-period total now of 17. Spuds were able to hold Alexandria to 1 goal, getting one of their own and maintaining a 1-goal game. I think that last goal by the Spuds, a very important goal. The Cardinals had been controlling the tempo and momentum of the game, even though the teams were not in the period. B.J. Anderson scored for Alexandria in the second, his 20th of the season. The Cardinals have had some outstanding goal scorers this season. Chad Hacker has 35 points with 15 goals. B.J. Anderson with his goal tonight now has 47 points, leads the Cardinals, and 46 points rather, with 19 goals and 27 assists. Jay Kopishki with his goal tonight, his 18th of the year, now has 42 points, 18 goals and 24 assists. You counter that with the Spuds' leading scorer, Brian Nelson, with his 2 goals tonight, now has 25 on the season. Next in line is Troy Bagney with 15 goals. Mark Cullen on that line with 12 goals. But Jason Gregoire of Moorhead off to our right side. Teammates have come over to wish him well in the third. All left alone to our left side is Blair Hobel, finishing his touches on the crease area ice. As we start the third period, it's 3-2 Alexandria. On the Elders Communications scoreboard, Troy Bagney of Moorhead will stand in against John Cullen. Third period starts as the puck is drawn back in the Cardinals' control. Nate Wright dumps it into the Moorhead zone. It'll rim behind the net. Off to the far side, Nate running, feeds it along the boards. It ends up with Troy Bagney's, and the Spuds have a breakaway. Here's Nelson getting around the defenseman, moving in, backhanded on the save by Blair Hovel. Oh, what a move by Brian Nelson. Coming all the way up ice, getting around the defenseman, and then with his back towards the goaltender, shoveled a pass on. That came on goal, and Blair Hovel got the stick down and made the save. 3-2, Alexandria with the lead. Face off to the right side of Blair Hovel. Bagney again stays in along with John Cullen. They'll handle the face-off now at the other end of the ice. The puck is down, ends up high in the slot. It's lifted out of the zone. Kopishki catches up to it. He goes down. We'll have a penalty now on Moorhead for a tripping call. And as Mark Cullen tries to knock it out of the zone, controlling the puck brings up the Spud penalty, their first of the night. The skates getting tangled up along the far side, going for the loose puck. Troy Bagney along the near side getting the explanation, and the penalty will go to Nate Ronning. Nate Ronning on the penalty. First Spud penalty of the night. And Alexandria, who has a near 70% power play ratio, will have the man advantage. Just underway, third period, and the Cardinals have a chance to improve on a one-goal game. Most teams feel fortunate to have a 40% completion on their power play opportunities. Alexandria has nearly doubled that. Off to the far side, running around to the near corner, loose now, picked off the boards, deflected out high at the point, knocked back deep into the corner and behind the net. Kopishki sets it up from there, tries a wrap run, a quick move there, but it's knocked away and comes to the near corner. John Cullen reaches in for it. Now B.J. Knutson reaches in for Moorhead. Knocked loose, comes out high to the point, sought down by Gaffney, bounces away, and out to center ice. Tipped out by John Tranby, who will leave quickly. And back onto the ice. Josh Kramer pops it into the air. Loose now, and back out to center. Scrambled for it. The Spud skating a man short. Here's a nifty backhand on the near side for Stuart Sendon, moving in on goal. The shot blocked by Gregoire. Off to the far side. Bounced back in deep to the far corner. Picked up by B.J. Knutson. He's checked off the play. Kopishki picks it up for Alexandria. Carries it behind the net. Now moving in quickly. Brian Nelson sends it out. And to the blue line. It's kept in with a pass brought down along the near side. Moving in. Sendon blocked the save. The goal. Alexandria keeping after it. And on the rebound was able to poke it past Jason Gregoire, and the Cardinals take a 4-2 lead. The goal coming at 1:35. Power play goal for the Cardinals. Four-2 game. Cardinals with the lead. Off a loose puck in the corner. It was brought in at a near angle. And Gregoire kicked the rebound out in front. Jay Kopishki with the goal. The assist will go to Stuart Sendon, his second of the night. And also on the assist, Brian Gaffney, his second of the night. It's 4-2 Alexandria. Power play goal at 1:35. Third period action. Here come the Spuds. Both teams back at equal strength now. Big check put along the far side, knocked loose to the corner. Bounced behind the net, looking for an opening. It's not there. The Cardinals take it back. Along the far side, Chad Hacker brings it out to center with a pass up to B.J. Anderson. Knocked away from him and poked to the near boards. Knocked away along the near side, back into the zone. Reached in, saved for Simison. Knocked loose from him and back onto the zone. Spuds will come onside as B.J. Knutson returns it. It floats in behind the net of Blair Hovel, and it's picked up by Brad Westfall of Alexandria. His pass to the near boards gets away from Jesse Giroy of Moorhead and out to center. Spuds again come back onside. Jay Kopishki comes in to foil the play. Return pass along the boards, far side. Nick Dodds goes down hard. Kopishki is there yet and backhands it. We've got a 2-on-1 break. Moving in. Here's the shot. The score! The Cardinals have taken it to a 3-goal game. The puck floated loose at center ice, and it was 2-on-1, virtually 2-on-0, moving into the zone. And a rink-wide pass left the net open, and the Cardinals now lead it 5-2. 2:46 the time of this goal. The goal to John Cullen. The assist will go to Jay Kopishki. And also getting an assist is Stuart Senden. John Cullen from Jay Kopishki and Stuart Senden to make it 5-2 Alexandria. Cullen's 16th of the year. .12:09 to go. Spuds have a big job ahead of them now, trailing by 3. Here's a long pass sent out of the center ice area and bounced to the near side. Loose now near the point. Picked off the boards. Here's a centering pass knocked loose out wide. There's the open shot, the deflection out, and swept aside for a brief moment. Then the return set on Gregoire, save. Gregoire save. Kicked out in front. Loose now, and Mark Cullen brings it back out. Cullen out to center ice. He'll bring it in. Cullen still stick handling, feeds it near side. He'll track it down to the boards, and it escapes to center. Quickly, Brian Nelson lifts it up. It comes down in the zone. Return to center ice. Spuds in. They'll have to come back onside, and they do as the Cardinals clear it out to center. Tied up for a moment. Now picked up by B.J. Anderson, and he's ridden wide of the play. He'll carry it all the way to the corner. From behind the net, Simonson tracking it down. Poked away. Simonson trailing the play. Drops it back now for Nate Ronning. He'll bring it out to center. Ronning moving in. Feeds it out from the right side. Past Simonson, and it's taken back by Chad Hacker. The Spuds take it back again and send it off the boards near side. From the point, Ryerson's shot is bounced out to center ice. Nate Ronning will wait for teammates to come onside. Turns and sends it back into the zone. 10:53, a long pass sent out on the near side. Escapes left of Gregoire. Icing is waved off. Spuds go in. It's all tangled up there. Finally, Nick Dodge gets back on his skates, tries to kick it loose, and does to the corner for John Tranby. He's checked off the play. Tranby circling back quickly. Leaves it now for Nate Ronning, and the Spuds have a 2-on-2 at center. Near side for Fred Bentz. Moving in, winds up the shot, the save, Blair Hovel to the near side. Along the boards now, and we've got a penalty stopping play, a Cardinal play on the delayed penalty. As the Cardinals came in to poke the puck loose, whistle stops, and the Spuds will be on the power play. Third power play opportunity of the night for Moorhead. They have not converted. We'll have the opportunity now with 10:20 remaining. But trailing by 3 at a 5-2 margin. The Cardinals scoring twice early in the third rather, on a power play goal by Jay Kopishki. And then John Cullen at 2:46. Face off right side of Blair Hovel. Mark Cullen will stand in, and just as he stands in, a timeout is taken. And so we have a break here at the Moorhead Sports Center with 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go. The Cardinals, down a man, have sent Andy Cavers into the penalty box for 2 minutes. And the Spuds will try to figure out a way to be more aggressive and try to find a way to get past Blair Hovel, something that it has been difficult to do in tonight's game, and it's 5-2 Alexandria. Moorhead Drug and the Moorhead Center Mall is proud to be a sponsor of Moorhead Spuds Hockey. After the timeout called, the puck is loose in the dot. Near side, sent out to the point. Ryerson sends a shot on. It just missed the post. Bouncing off to the boards far side and kept in at the point by Ryerson. Sends it back in behind the net. Off the skate of Jeff Krause of Alexandria. Back behind the net. Steered loose. Here's a shot on and a goal! Brian Nelson! Brian Nelson with a hat-trick goal. And the Spuds have the power play goal to bring it to a 2-goal game at 5 minutes of the third period. Brian Nelson out in front, took the pass from behind. Mark Cullen will get 1 assist. He'll get the only assist. Brian Nelson, hat trick tonight. He had 2 goals the first time these teams played. Mark Cullen with the assist, his 3rd tonight. That's his 26th of the year. Brian Nelson from Mark Cullen at the 5-minute mark to make it 5-3. Power play goal for Moorhead. And the puck is down at center. Knocked on the near side, up against the plexiglass. Kopishki picks it up, floats into the zone, and it's taken away, sent back out to center. We've got to scramble for it. Troy Bagney goes in for position, and he's sandwiched up hard against the boards. Here's a centering pass knocked up, and a pass against the base of the net. Knocked loose into the far side. Nate Wright sends a long pass up. Here's a breakaway. Stuart Sunding moving in. He's ridden wide of the play. He hits the post! Stuart Sunding all alone, moving in, and he put it off the post, and it bounces back out into play. No goal. 9:27 to go with the net coming off its magnets. Now face-off will be in the Moorhead zone. What an opportunity. First at the Alexandria zone where the Spuds had a shot on and hit the base of the net. Then off the rebound, a long pass out to center, and Stuart Sendon hitting the post on a breakaway. Here's Nick Dodge of Moorhead standing in against Chad Hocker. Face-off, comes out high in the slot. Spuds poke it off to the near side. Taken back now by Andy Cavers. The return pass into the zone knocked away, and the Spuds have it. Here comes Nick Dodge, near side pass for Tranby. Misfired on the pass, carries it behind the net. And now a whistle on the far side of the play, and we've got a penalty coming up. It looks like the Spuds will find themselves a man short. Nick Dodge look to it. Maybe we'll have concurrent penalties. Yes, we will. It'll be 4-on-4 hockey now, as Nick Dodge will come to the box for Moorhead. And the Cardinals will send Brad Westfall in as they collide with 9:07 to go. It's a 5-3 hockey game. Alexandria with the lead. They had led it 5-2. The Spuds' only lead came at 1-0. And then the Cardinals reeled off 3 unanswered goals and have been in control from that point. Now it's 4-on-4 hockey. In the Alexandria zone, face-off, drawn out to the near side. Jesse Giroy lines it up. His shot is blocked off to the far side. Knutsen's rather shot deflected in traffic, bounced to the near boards, and picked up by B.J. Anderson. And as he brings it in, he's ridden off by Giroy. Loose puck to Fred Bentz near side, and the Spuds are able to work it loose. Giroy carries it behind his net, then circles back, trying to get out of the zone. Carries it up. Here's a pass on the near side for Fred Bentz. 8:37 to go. Knocked loose at the line. Fed back. Giroy leaves it now for B.J. Knutsen. He'll bring it into the zone. Sends a shot on. Rebound. Bounced out in front. Spuds on the change. No chance to pick up the loose puck. Now coming in from the backside. Mark Cullen pokes it out to the point area, and it's knocked away there. Off to the far side. It's carried in by Chad Hacker. Moves a shot on and wrists one in. And Jason Gregoire is there with the glove save. Gregoire standing right on the outer fringe of the crease. Reached up with the glove save. Stopping play with 8:14 to go. 1:07 left on the 2 penalties. Face-off will be to the right of Gregoire. 5-3 Alexandria here in the 3rd period from the Moorhead Sports Center. No one to this point disappointed in the way this game has been played. Mark Cullen will handle the face-off now. He'll stand in against Cousin John. Puck goes down. It's drawn into the corner. Spuds controlled. Troy Bagney feeds it near side. It rims the corner and out to Brian Nelson on the near side. Tries to carry the zone. It's poked away from him. Now it's bounced out. Cullen takes it back for Alexandria. He'll wrist one in. That's wide of the mark, and Gregoire steers it off to the far corner. Andy Ryerson picks it up. He'll feed it back on the near side. Brian Nelson returns the pass to Mark Cullen. Returns on the near side for Brian Nelson. Flying in, circles around, lost the puck off the toe into the far corner. Back to Cullen behind the net. He'll try to wrap and can't get there. Now out in front, bounces high, out high in the slot. Giroy puts a shot on and it bounces away. Here's the return, the shot right into the midsection, and Blair Hovel has the save. First a high shot by Mark Cullen that bounced back out into play, and the Spuds return with a point-blank shot right into the stomach area of Blair Hovel. Stopping play with 7:33 to go. We're halfway through the 3rd period. 5-3. Alexandria has the lead on Moorhead. Face off to the left of Alexandria goaltender Blair Hovel. Mark Bjorklund handles a face-off back to the point. B.J. Knutsen skates it off to the far side. Drops it deep into the corner. And from there, the centering pass deflected out to the point. Giroy lines one up. Missed one high, looking for the upper corner, and it sailed wide. Back to the point area. Sent in from there. It's blocked. Out in front near side. Swept aside by the Cardinals. 7:13 to go. We may have an icing call here with the team skating evenly. They're going to wave it off. They felt the Spuds had a chance to play it. The teams come back at full strength now. Puck is knocked loose at the Moorhead blue line and kept alive by Jesse Giroy. He'll backhand it into the zone. Spuds are on the change, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Along the near side, back out to center. Nate Ronning goes in. Kopischke ties him up, and it's left on the near side for John Tranby. Now Simison brings it in. Jeff Simison along the near side, carries it behind the net. He's tied up and ridden off the play by Brian Gaffney of Alexandria. Left for Tranby, poked away from there, and Gaffney picks it up deep in the corner. 6.5 remaining. Alex leading at 5-3. Puck is popped into the air. Tranby takes it off to the far corner, circling around. Tranby out high in the slot for Nate Ronning. He'll slide it in on goal wide. Bouncing off, and Gaffney clears it back behind the net for the Cardinals. It's lifted in and out. It'll bounce in all the way on goal. Greg Wire steers it back on the near side. Nate Ronning will return. He is upended and leaves it. We've got an Alexandria penalty coming up. And as the Cardinals touch it at center ice, the whistle stops play. Nate Ronning, turning to pass, was hooked. And the Spuds will have the power play opportunity here with 6:01 to go. Jay Kopischke of the Cardinals comes to the near side. 5-3 Alexandria. 6:01 to play. Spuds on their fourth power play have one conversion tonight. They are 1 for 3. Their last goal was a power play goal. Tom Jerome on the far side. Again, conversing and coaching all the way along. Spuds control the draw and come into the zone 5-on-4. Here's Nelson feeding it right side for Cullen. His shot deflects it up high, and it hits the protective netting and floats out of play. We'll bring in a new puck with 5:53 to go. 5-3 hockey game. Spuds down by 2. Cardinals, they took a 3-goal lead. Brian Gaffney is in the face-off circle, but the face-off comes on the outer edge. Mark Cullen controls the draw. It's tipped out and gets through out to center ice, where Bagney picks it up for the Spuds. He'll bring it back in, wind it up, drop it back out for Giroy. The shot right on, and Blair Hovel has the save, and he hangs on. The Spuds were there waiting in case the puck dropped down, but Hovel hangs on with another save. 5:38 to go. But a big night for Blair Hovel. He has had some of his best games against Moorhead. Still 1:37 left in the Alexandria penalty. Mark Cullen stands in for the face-off and kicks it back out. Josh Kramer moves in, wrists one, and it's deflected off the blocker. Cardinals clear it out of the zone, and with a long pass it comes on goal. Jason Gregoire will leave it for Troy Bagney. Back to pick it up with 1:26 remaining on the power play. Bagney slides down. He's forechecked away, and Mark Cullen feeds it out to center ice, but the Cardinals are there to take it back. The wrister down, hits traffic and bounces into the crowd on the far side. Schedule that the Cardinals have had, but they certainly have shown that they belong with the top teams in the state of Minnesota by their performance here tonight. Face-off will be just inside the Alexandria blue line. Mark Bjorklund, a turn, a look to the bench, then stands in for the draw. And it's poked down. Gaffney has it for the Cardinals. Backhanded out of the zone. It comes in long. It'll come all the way to the corner. Cardinals skating shorthanded. No icing is called. They're in the zone. They'll bring it back onside now. Long pass out to center, poked away from Stuart Senden. Knocked away from him, and John Cullen brings it in. He'll wind up and shoot. Sails up and away, bouncing all the way out towards center ice. Here's Fred Bentz of Moorhead. He'll bring it into the zone. Bentz is poked off the play, and the puck comes off to the near boards. Sent out near the point. Bagney can't keep it in, and it's poked ahead of the play, and so offside the call. Stopping play with 4:38 to go. Still 37 seconds left. Still 37 seconds left on the Alexandria penalty. Jay Kopischke has been wiping his nose. We can't tell that there's any blood there, but I think the officials are making sure that there is no blood showing, and that when the penalty expires that he'll be able to come back onto the ice. 4:38 left. Alexandria has a 2-goal lead at 5-3. Spud's only lead was 1-0. Cardinals' biggest lead was 5-2. Mark Cullen handles a draw to the near boards. Tranby has it poked away. Gets through the legs and back into the Cardinal zone. A long pass, rink wide, bounces in right side of Gregoire. Spuds are back to pick it up. John Tranby waiting for the long pass, but it comes out. Now knocked loose. The Spuds again bring it to center, but a great job by Gaffney, or by B.J. Anderson rather. He has the open net, but is ridden in behind. Gregoire came out to try and help out to poke the puck away and left the net wide open. Finally, the Spuds cleared from behind the net. Brian Nelson spots John Tranby, but he was over the blue line when he took the pass. And we'll go back to the spot of the pass, and it'll be near the Spud blue line. Troy Bagney stands in. Chad Hacker comes onto the ice for the Cardinals. We've had a lull here in the last 2 minutes. Bagney controls the draw, drops it back. This will bring the Cardinals to full strength. The pass gets out of the center ice area and floats in right side of Gregoire. He'll leave it there for Andy Ryerson. In deep in the corner, and it's taken back by B.J. Anderson. He'll move in on goal. It trickles out in front. The wrister up, bounces high, and from behind, cleared by Brian Nelson. He'll bring it out with a pass to Mark Cullen. To the line. Cullen brings it in. He's checked off the play, and the puck floats off to the far corner. Backhanded by Gaffney to B.J. Anderson, and the Cardinals break it out of the zone with a pass now to Chad Hacker. He'll carry it in, winding up the shot, bounces behind the net, floats all the way off to the boards near side. 3:23 to go. Spuds need 2 to tie. Having trouble getting out of their zone. Here's a pass out now to Troy Bagney, hits the skate, bounces back into the zone, and from there a turnaround. Shot comes on goal. Gregoire will get a save. Puck is loose in the corner. Here's a centering pass off to the far side, moving in. The shot comes through the crease to the near side and all the way to the boards. Spuds again trying to break out. Fred Bentz backhands it out. Nobody home. And the return comes near the zone, and the Spuds take it back. Jesse Giroy's pass goes rink wide, bouncing into the Cardinal zone. Tranby goes in, leaves it for Dodge. He shoots, he hits the pipe, and it bounces out to the near side, all the way out to center ice. So the two teams have had equal disappointments with the pipe getting in the way. Puck rolling along the blue line. Finally knocked into play. Cardinals have it. That'll take the offside off. And it comes out to center ice. Andy Ryerson wrists it back in with 2.5 to go. Cardinal fans closer to the edge of their seats. They have a chance for an upset win on the road tonight against the Moorhead Spuds. From center ice, brought in now by Stuart Sendon. Moving in, the shot is deflected out to the near corner. Out around the boards now, poked along and to center ice. Bjorklund chasing it down, but it's poked away from him by B.J. Anderson. Cardinals can afford to be somewhat conservative now in their approach to the final 2 minutes of play. Here's a shot out in front, deflected away from Gregoire. 2 minutes to go. Spuds trailing 5-3. Along the right side, Josh Kramer dumps it in. It'll bounce left side of Hobel. And from behind the net, it's picked off by the Cardinals. Out near the point, kept in. Here's Nelson moving it alone. Right side, backhand pass, Mark Cullen, shot, save, Hobel! Oh my, what a save by Blair Hobel. Back out at center ice, knocked offside, and that will stop the clock with 1:36 to go. Blair Hobel had every angle covered. Brian Nelson was alone. He followed him all the way, and even though the rebound came out to Mark Cullen, who deked him right, then went left, Hobel responded and was right back in position for the block. 1:36 to go. 5-3 Alexandria. Troy Bagney on. He'll handle the face-off for Moorhead. He'll stand in against John Cullen of Alexandria. Waving. And the puck goes down. Now the Cardinals control. Big control by the Cardinals. Out of their own end. Pass near side for Jeff Krause. Brings it out to center. The move up now by Stuart Sendon. Deep into the corner. He slides down and the puck is loose. 1:21 to go. Spuds bring it out with a long pass right side for Mark Cullen. He'll bring it into the zone. Up high in the slot, moving in, the shot blocked. Cullen rebounds to the near side, carries it to the boards. Now 1:08 to go, and the Cardinals bring it back. Here's Jeff Krause along the boards, dumping it into the Spud zone. Tracked down, picked up along the near side with 1 minute to go in the game. Spuds trailing by 2, Cardinals with a 5-3 lead, and the puck is in the crowd along the far side. Face-off will be in the Spud zone, right side of Jason Gregoire. New puck back on after the last one was lost in the crowd. Alexandria has gone to the far side, getting the last words from Tom Jerome before heading on. The Spuds are in the circle right of their goal. Nick Dodge will handle the face-off. He'll stand in against Chad Hacker. Puck goes down. It's kicked out to the rim, and the shot sent on. Rebound after the save by Gregoire. Spuds have it with 50 seconds to go. Moving along the right side. John Tranby carries it deep into the corner. He's ridden wide by Brian Gaffney of Alexandria. Loose now. They'll kick it along. Cardinals will take as much time as needed. They don't need to even get their stick on the puck as long as they can somehow control and prevent the Spuds from getting into an attack mode. 30 seconds to go. Two players end up down on the deck, and now we've got Brian Gaffney with his helmet off, throwing a punch down, but he looks up at the clock, and I'm not sure he cares with a 5-3 lead. Brian Gaffney, as tall and as big a player the Spuds will play this year. Fred Bentz also may head to the near sideline. Fred Bentz will check in, and concurrent penalties with 26 seconds to go in regulation. So it'll be 4-on-4 hockey the rest of the way. Big scramble for a loose puck. It was tied up in the corner. We had two Spuds and two Cardinals. Both the Spuds, of course, trying to kick it loose, and the Cardinals are trying to control the puck along the boards. And finally, a couple of players ended up on the ice with Brian Gaffney's helmet flying off, and that's not altogether pleasant. And he responded to Fred Bentz, and both leave. 26 seconds to go. The Spuds, and the puck is dropped out of the zone. It'll come back into the Moorhead zone. 20 seconds to go. It'll be icing called against Alexandria as they tossed it out. 5-3 Alexandria. Stay tuned. At the end of tonight's game, we'll have our three-star show. We'll name the top three players in tonight's game. I'm not sure there's any doubt about who the number one star will be. 20 seconds to go. Mark Cullen stands in. It's 4-on-4 hockey here with the concurrent penalties. Puck dropped down in the slot. The shot sent on the rebound after the save by Hobo. Tipped right back into the glove. The Spuds still trying and fighting and scrapping. 15 seconds to go. Brian Nelson had a little tip into the glove. We're back in the circle left of Hobo. 5-3 Alexandria. Puck is down, drawn to the corner, deep. Andy Ryerson feeds it out for Nelson. It gets away from him and to the near boards. Cardinals send it out. Jeff Krause with a long pass into the zone. It'll float down, and that'll run the clock out. They raise their sticks in victory, and the Cardinals have evened the series and are the number one team in this half of Section 8 hockey, claiming the win tonight. The final, Alexandria 5 and Moorhead 3. Star in tonight's game. I'm Larry Knutson, hoping that you'll join us again Thursday night here at the Moorhead Sports Center when the Moorhead Spud hockey team takes on East Grand Forks. And our final score tonight, Alexandria 5 and Moorhead 3.